Hey everyone, this is Mrs. Daniel, and we're going to be looking at how to solve two-step word problems. I first wanted to remind you of a couple strategies that we've used throughout this unit. We've done number bonds, where we've got a whole part. We've done the arrow way. This comes in handy a lot when we're doing our adding. And then we've also done tape diagrams. Again, where you can look at a part, two parts, and then put it together to get a whole. So our first word problem, when I read word problems, the first thing I do is I read through the problem. I don't mark it yet, I just read through it. So let's look. We've got, Mai picked 26 berries. Lewis picked 37 more berries than mine. How many berries did Lewis pick? Okay. So I read through it the first time. Now I'm starting to think about what are they asking. The second time I read through my problem is when I start to circle important information and especially my numbers, okay? So picked 26 berries. Lewis picked 37 more berries than mine. So it's important that we know 37 more. So not 37 total, 37 more, okay? How many berries did Lewis pick? Then what I like to do is I like to underline my whole question, right? All right, so now I'm going to start my tape diagram. And I'm going to use a darker color so it's easy to see. I'm really excited. I got these new colors to make things a little more exciting for you guys. All right, so I'm going to label my first one with Mai's name. And we know that she picked 26 berries. Okay? Now Lewis, I'm going to label Lewis so we can keep track of who is who. And Lewis he picked 37 more than mine. So mine picked 26 berries, and then Lewis picked the 26, and then 37 more. Okay? So that's how we show that. We want to find out how many berries did Lewis pick? Well, we know the two numbers that he picked. So these two together are going to give us Lewis's berries. Okay? So now it's a simple addition problem. 26 plus 37. And I'm going to use one of our newer strategies that we just kind of have been talking about, where we look at, and it's called new groups below. So 6 plus 7 equals 13. And I'm going to draw my new group below. 3 plus 2 is 5. 1 more is 6. My answer is 63. Okay, so now I'm going to write my complete sentence. Lewis picked 63 berries. Okay. Now I said that we were going to be doing two-step problems. So here was our first step, step 1. Now we have a second step or another question that goes along with the same one. Is how many berries did they pick in all? So how many berries did they pick in all? That means how many did Mai pick and Lewis pick? Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to underline how many did they pick in all. I'm going to do a couple extra lines under all. Super important. Okay? So how many berries did they pick in all? So I'm going to use another tape diagram. And I'm going to make sure I label it. So we know that Lewis, remember he picked 63 berries. And we know that Mai, she picked 26 berries. And we want to know together how many did they pick in all. So we are going to add to get the number. This is what we're trying to figure out, okay? We don't know how much they are together. So we have two parts. We're trying to figure out the whole. If you wanted to do a number bond, you would have 63 as one of your parts. We would have 26 as one of our parts. We don't know our whole yet, okay? So I'm going to add 63 plus 26. And I'm going to use the new groups below strategy. So 6 plus 3 is 9. Oh, I don't have to use that new strategy. 6 plus 2 is 8. So together, they picked 89 berries. So this is where 89 goes. So I'm going to write my sentence that says, they picked 89. They picked 89 berries in all. Notice I used words. How many berries did they pick? They picked 89 berries in all. It's important that you use words from the question, okay? I do apologize for that glare. I tried to change the lighting. Okay, so two-step word problems. You're probably thinking, man, that's a lot of work. And it kind of is a lot of work, but if you take it step by step and you do an organized diagram or an organized picture, you will come out with the right answer. We're going to do another one together. Okay, let me get it set up. Okay, for problem number 2, I'm going to try to go a little slower. So if you want to try to do it at home with me and practice, then you can do that. And if you need to pause me, go ahead and pause me because I know I do get quick sometimes. So the last problem that we did, they broke down the steps and they kind of showed us A for step 1 and then B for step 2. And they broke it up. This next problem, they don't make it quite so easy. There are still 2 steps, but they don't break it down to step 1 or A and B. Here's the problem. We're going to read it. Remember, first we read our problem before we start trying to solve. We read it and see what is it asking. Kevin had 53 balloons. His cat popped 17 of them. His father gives him 18 more balloons. How many balloons does Kevin have now? Okay, so there's 2 parts in here. Now I'm going to read back through it again, and any of the important information, numbers, keywords, I'm going to underline or circle so I know what we're talking about. Kevin had 53 balloons. Okay. This is a number. Numbers are important. Okay. 53. His cat popped 17 of them. Popped 17 is what I'm going to circle. His father gives him 18 more balloons. So gives him, I'm going to circle this whole phrase, 18 more. Gives him 18 more. So we know he's going to be giving him more. How many balloons does Kevin have now? Okay. And I always underline that last question. Okay? So To start our tape diagram, we know he started out with 53 balloons. And we know that 17 of them got popped. So what should our tape diagram look like? Go ahead and start writing it on your paper, and I'm going to get set up here and we'll see if your answer matches what I was thinking. And I'm going to change the color. Okay, you almost ready to show me what you've got? Here's what I've got. Let's see if yours matches, okay? It's okay if it doesn't match. This should be along the idea that we know the total, okay? So the total, he started with 53 balloons. We know that 17 of them got popped, and we don't know how many are left, okay? So the number sentence that would go along with this would be 53 minus 17. And we have worked a lot on subtraction. And here you can do your subtraction, whichever strategy made the most sense to you, whichever strategy was easiest for you, you can do the subtraction on your paper. 53 minus 17. Go ahead and write that on your paper. 53 minus 17. I'm going to give you a second to solve this on your paper. I'm going to solve it on my whiteboard, and then I'll show you. Okay? 53 minus 17. Go ahead and solve it. We've learned a lot of different strategies. If you're not ready, you can pause the video. Here's my answer, 36. So we know he has 36 left, okay? But we're not done. That was just step one. Now, so he pops them, now we know. Okay, his father gives him 18 more balloons. So he's giving him 18 more. So right now he's got 36. I'm going to do a new tape diagram. He's got 36 balloons, and his dad gave him 18 more. And we want to know, how many does he have now? So 36 plus 18, and we're trying to figure out what is the whole. Okay, what's the whole? When you put those two parts together, what's the whole amount? So 36 plus 18 is your new problem that you're going to solve. If you want to pause this video and solve the addition problem, you may. 36 plus 18. So the 36 is how much he had left. The 18 is how many more he was given. That's where we're getting those two numbers from. So 6 plus 8 3 plus 1 plus 1, 54. Okay? So my sentence would be, Kevin has 54 balloons. Okay?